just don't have a whole lot of means to increase my income at the moment. I do want to build a market here, but I do not have the funds to do so. So we're just going to have to go ahead and end the turn and save up some money. Alright. Just going through the end of this turn, you can see the Shoni there. I don't know who they're at war with. They don't really have a whole lot of armies, so I'm actually very tempted to just make a run on them and see if we can stomp them out in a few turns. That'll probably be my next realm to conquer, as I'll go ahead and stomp out the Shoni, and I'll probably get a navy together and move my large army that's on Shikoku. I'm not quite sure where I want to move them yet, but I'll start thinking about it. If you have any suggestions, you can let me know. It doesn't necessarily mean I will do it, but, you know, I'll consider it. Just taking a look at my buildings here to see what I have. It's always good to look at your buildings, see what you can do. I have a market there, which is good for my income. But what's nice is you can actually mix certain buildings. Like if you mix archery dojos, sword dojos, or Yari drill yards with your warhorse stables, that's what allows you to train the different types of cavalry. So it becomes very handy to know how to mix those up in order to get the types of units that you want. And then also you can build, you know, the Buddhist temples and monasteries and eventually be able to train the monks. And then you can build sake dens, I think, and eventually be able to train ninjas. So yeah, you can do some interesting stuff. I think you can also build a siege workshop to where you can make siege units, which is pretty cool also. Right here I'm going to go ahead and research this technology there, which will help improve our markets. Alright, so I recruited those new units. I need to just leave them, well actually I need to recruit some units to defend this castle. So go ahead and end this turn, let my men recoup just a little bit more. You can see my general has quite a few command stars. He's becoming quite skilled. He's had quite a lot of battle success, which is good. Again, the Shoni are looking very weak there. I think I'm definitely going to have to take advantage of that soon. It looks like they have superior ships or some kind of ship building is one of the bonuses there, and that could be extremely handy to me. Alright, so now I'm just going to take this army, leave behind the new units that I trained. Here I'm trying to figure out which ones it is, but really the smart thing for me to do is just leave behind a Bo Ashigaru and a Yari Ashigaru that has the least experience. So that's pretty much what I'm contemplating at the moment. It took me a lot longer to figure out than it should have. There we go. So what do you all think of the campaign so far? Do you think that I'm doing well? Do you think I'm running behind schedule? I think a lot of you have actually finished campaigns, whereas I actually have not finished a campaign. Not even on easy or anything. Not because I can't, it's just because I haven't had time. I'm making all these videos, and you know, I've played bits and pieces of other campaigns just to see what it's like, but I haven't played a whole lot. And so it's pretty much, I'm not really sure how the end game of these things look, so maybe some of you can tell me. It's on normal difficulty. You may be able to tell me, you're way behind, or things are going to get tough. You know, I kind of expect things to get tough from what I've seen in the other campaigns I've played, but, you know, I'm not exactly sure what to expect as we move closer to Kyoto. I've been told by some people that the shogunate had a lot of bow samurai, but, you know, I'm not too worried about bow samurai. We'll see. Maybe I will be when the time comes. Now, I am suffering winter attrition, so I do want to go ahead and get in a fight. Yeah, my men started walking off, so I quickly changed that command. Realized that I have to attack this guy first. And I am going to go ahead and fight this battle. There's going to be a lot of Miyoshi here. I'm actually outnumbered, but my units are qualitatively quite superior. I am worried about that light cavalry, though, getting a hold of my katana or bow troops, because they could cause quite a bit of damage. And it is just light cavalry, thankfully, not Yari Cav. But I'm just going to have to be careful in this battle to make sure I don't lose too many men. Figured we might watch the speech again since it's another big battle. Like I said, these critical battles, I kind of like to see what the general has to say. And I believe in this speech he keeps things pretty simple, pretty short and sweet, and pretty much saying to the Shimazu to be brave. And we Shimazu are brave, brave indeed. And we are ready to defeat these Miyoshi pigs and drive them from their lands and increase the greatness of our clan. Alright, so again, I'm going to use pretty much the exact same formation. You see me going archers up front, katana samurai in the second row, and again, I'm just, clicking and dragging units into the formation I want, and then, of course, once I get them in the formation I want, I can just group them. And you can also, I think you can assign numbers to them by pushing control and then a number, and that'll select certain units that you wanted. But I don't think it's necessarily a group. Alright, there we go. So you can see, just marching my troops up. The enemy is actually marching towards me. Here comes the reinforcements. You can see all their light cav coming onto the field rather quickly. Reinforcements not taking forever, like they did on Napoleon Total War. It seems like sometimes you'd be waiting on your reinforcements for a year. Now the computer just started running towards that hill, which kind of concerns me. I don't really want them hill camping because they have so many men, and even though mine are better, having to go uphill with my samurai against all those Ashigaru could prove rather troublesome. Not to mention the downhill charges from the light cav could cause me some issues. And I can see some of their cav making an immediate run for my archers, which is a pretty typical move that the AI does. And to be honest, to trade a couple of units of light cav, if they did manage to get in and cause a bunch of damage to your archers and samurai, that would actually be worth it since the light cav are quite cheap. But here, these guys are going to get totally intercepted and destroyed. So there's going to be pretty much nothing for me to fear because the AI had to call off that charge at the last second, pretty much cut their losses. Yep, so there I am tearing up that light cav unit. I'll zoom in here and get you some close-ups. In this battle, though, I'm going to be, I'll have to zoom out quite a bit to try and keep an eye on the overhead since it is such a large fight. I don't want to lose track of things or, let my cav get killed by a bunch of Ashigaru units or let my generals get killed. So definitely be keeping a close eye on everything that's going on. But I'll zoom in as often as I can and also maybe try and get you some first-person views eventually later on. Yeah, check out the computer here, just trying to get all set up on this hill. It can't really decide, how it wants to set up its men.
Our hidden units have been discovered, my lord.
Yeah, so basically I'm just reconnoitering their position. They got a lot of cav there. So, I don't really need to comment on everything that's going on in this battle. I think you can see what's going on. So, while I'm here, I had a good time tonight. We actually, I actually have my nephews in town, and we actually went out to a fun place called Fastlane. It's pretty interesting, actually. It's kind of like they have a bunch of arcade stuff, where you can win tickets and prizes, and then they had some laser tag and some go-karts. And to me, it must have been Al Gore's go-karts because they were all battery powered. But surprisingly, they moved around pretty quick. It was indoors, of course, and considering it's indoors, I was glad they weren't operating, obviously any gasoline carts. We'd all be having some nice carbon monoxide asphyxiation, which is not all that fun. But in any case, I guess they had black lights and stuff. They shut off all the lights, and you drive around the track in the black lights, and they actually called it glow carts. It's pretty cool. Definitely enjoyed that. And then they had a laser tag area, so I got to play some laser tag. We got walloped. Our team came in last, so I was pretty proud of that. Apparently, my strategies didn't work out. Yeah, there's some enemy light cav that charged in a bit prematurely, so I'm gonna mess them up. Yeah, so anyway, it was a pretty fun evening. Had a good time, but I am going to be traveling I say tomorrow. Actually, by the time this video gets up, most of you see it'll actually be today. I'll be traveling on Saturday, my time, so I won't be putting up any new videos until Sunday night once these go up. So that's the next point at which you should expect videos. And go ahead and just maybe leave a comment. Tell me what kind of video you'd like to see. I will put up at least one non-Shogun video because I said that I would continue to do that, but I can put up a Shogun video as well. And I know a whole bunch of you are probably going to go straight away and say, oh, we want to see a Shogun naval battle. And as I said on the little video I uploaded from my phone, I don't have any naval battle footage. I have tried repeatedly to get some decent naval battle footage, and it's not just I say decent, it's just to get any naval battle footage. Right now, the naval battles just aren't working well for me, and I'm kind of just waiting on CA to get the patch done. so that I can actually play some of the naval battles. And I'm also looking forward to some of the bugs being resolved, because I really want to play some classic battles. I'd like to get it set up, you know, where we have some historical clan-on-clan battles. And also it's kind of cool because, you know, each clan kind of has its, you know, pros and cons. So I definitely look forward to being able to do some classic battles. But right now, like I said, the game is pretty bugged as far as some of the multiplayer. You know, the game works well for the most part, but once they resolve those bugs, it'll make it a really, really good game, and just kind of make it fully playable. But I think we all know that it's pretty typical of Total War games to be released with quite a few bugs. It'd be nice if it didn't happen, but to be honest, you know, I can tolerate it just fine because the game is still extremely fun. So it looks like the computer is kind of attacking me piecemeal here, which is not a good idea on their part. Their only chance, due to their crap quality, is to just overwhelm me with numbers. And so they really shouldn't have attacked me piecemeal. That was just really stupid. Now I'm just going to start pouring on my units. And bring my cavalry up on the flanks again. Maybe do a little bit of harassing. I'm definitely enjoying this Shimazu campaign. It's great. I really like the Shogun campaign. I don't have any complaints against it so far. It hasn't really seemed repetitive or anything, kind of like the other campaigns. I mean, maybe some of the stuff you do is a little bit repetitive, but not really, because the AI is of course, number one, smarter on the campaign map, and they're a little bit smarter in battle. They haven't done great, but they do put up a different fight. I mean, I can definitely say that sometimes the AI surprises me. It doesn't necessarily mean that they surprise me always in a good way, but they'll still surprise me, which in and of itself is kind of nice, because that was the thing about the Rome Total War, and of course any other Total War game. You could just completely guess exactly what the AI was going to do, and it just got really old really fast. And at least on this game, like I said, that maybe the stuff they're doing isn't the smartest thing ever, but like I said, at least it's, you know, a slightly less repetitive. So the computer charged in this light cav, and they actually did a pretty good outflanking maneuver here. It's just that for them, they don't have enough horses to pull it off, but I mean, it sure enough did cause some pretty harsh damage to some of my horses, so I'm going to charge in my general units as retribution. Here's my Katana Samurai, going to smack into this Yari Ashigaru unit. In fact, I'll try and get you some first-person view on this Katana Samurai. Show you what it's like to have first person from the sword view. It's pretty cool, actually. You get right down into the midst of the fight, and you can actually see the sword sometimes come onto the view there. So there's my guy chasing them down. So I'll get you some more of that first person view in upcoming videos, so I'll try and get you some more cool footage. What's really fun is whenever you're playing a game where you have hero units, if you get the first person view, I mean, you can just sit there and watch them just pwn. The hero units are really, really strong. The best way to take down a hero unit is with a whole lot of missile fire. Otherwise, man, you're going to really be killing a lot of your infantry. Now check that out, my good general right here. This is what I was talking about earlier. The computer chases you relentlessly with Ashigaru units, and I'm trying desperately to get my general out of here because I really don't want to lose a 5-star general just due to some stupid mistake like that. Fortunately, I do manage to get him out alive, but man, that was close. Very, very close. Way too close for comfort. Here's the enemy general, so I'm going to go ahead and have my cavalry charge in there and take out the enemy general. Alright. And there goes their general, so now the rest of their army pretty much just turns tail and runs at this point. Sometimes when an army isn't doing well and then they lose their general, the whole rest of the army will just go ahead and rout. And that's actually, I think, kind of semi-realistic. So anyway, we did win this giant battle against the Miyoshi, so thank goodness. And there was our victory. So I'll see you back at the campaign map, of course, and show you the results of that battle, which were good. I don't know why I stayed on the battle screen for this long, and I'm just trying to make something up. Man, I'm tired. It's been a long day. In any case, here is the results screen. You can see I had about a 4-to-1 kill ratio there. You know, actually probably slightly less than 4-to-1, but at least pretty close to it. So definitely a favorable kill ratio. Okay. Let's get in here and see if we can take Awa Castle. I'm just going to auto-resolve this because it's not really worth my time. This will bring yet another province under our control. And I did lose a horse archer unit. That sucks because it's going to be hard to replace them. But we'll see what we can do. I probably do need to replace, or maybe add just a couple of katana units to my army or something. In any case, I can peacefully occupy or loot. I'm really heavily considering looting. I don't want to do too much looting because I think, like someone told me, it's bad for the honor of your daimyo. But I am going to go ahead and loot, and you can see that the shogunate is definitely taking notice of my expansionism here. So we're going to repair that building. I don't have money to repair this other one, so we'll have to wait. Or no, wait, yeah, I do have the money. We took care of it. Never mind. What am I thinking? I just looted that town. We got plenty of money. And I'm going to go ahead and expand these rice farms. That'll expand my food supply even bigger. And it will also increase my income. So, there we go. Yeah, looks like we have about everything taken care of that we need to. We're getting pretty much to the close of this video. So my future plans are probably going to be to build a little bit more of a navy if I can. Go take that trading port from the Shoni. We're going to want to go crush the Shoni. There's all my provinces. I think we have 8 provinces at the moment. So it's a pretty decent start towards 25, but we still have a long ways to go. And one of those provinces has to include Kyoto, of course. But there are a lot of provinces from northern Kyushu all the way up to Kyoto. So we should have plenty of provinces in the way.